What's up YouTube, it's Nick from Things Money. Today, as promised, I'm going to talk about the EIDL loan process as it applied to my small business. Just to recap, I have a small trucking company on the side of my daily finance job. I own it with my brother, and like everyone else, we were impacted by the illness, sickness, whatever you want to call it. And I applied for the EIDL grant and loan, and I also applied for the PPP, Payroll Protection Program loan. I have received both the grant and the loan for EIDL, and I've also received the PPP loan. I'm in the process of the record keeping to get that forgiven and going through that process. So this video is going to be strictly on the EIDL process. So my process is actually pretty seamless. I've seen a lot of these videos on YouTube and other ways in the news where the process has been cumbersome. They've called and talked to tier 2 agents, tier 1 agents, whatever. I never talked to a single person from the SBA during the entire process. So my outline looks a little bit like this. My state didn't declare the state of emergency till the following Tuesday. At that time is when the new streamlined application process became available. So I filled out the quick 3-page or 3-screen EIDL application where it asked for your gross revenues, cost of goods sold, all that. Never did it ask me how much money I needed, wanted, anything like that. All it asked me were those two financial questions, and then me certifying that I had economically impacted due to the illness. So I applied on March 17th. Got the letter from the SBA, the completion screen saying your application has been submitted, and I sat back and waited because the stipulation was you got the grant money of $10,000, up to $10,000, 3 days after the application. I heard nothing. The next correspondence I got was from the SBA. It was an email that came on March 29th, and that said, dear applicant, blah 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 blah, due to the illness, CARES Act. You know, I'm not going to go into it. You can Google it if you want. But basically, they had dropped it from $10,000 to $1,000 per employee. Cool, that was fine. That would still help. I mean, any amount that I could get would help. After that point, again, I heard nothing. Until April 14th, when I logged into my online banking. Actually, I logged in through QuickBooks. I saw that there was an entry of the $1,000 per employee deposited into my account. And I'll show the screenshot here of the actual entry from SBA. So I was happy. I thought, hey, great, I got the grant. Happy about that. Even if the loan didn't materialize, I had already applied for the PPP and was approved, and that money was in the process. But lo and behold, on May 22nd, I received the email from the SBA portal saying, please log in and accept the terms and conditions of the loan and all that. So I got excited, logged in, and there on the welcome screen was my initial amount of $149,000. And for a small company, that's a huge amount of money. And I don't really know how they got that calculation, because based on my cost of goods and my gross revenues, I'm not sure where that calculation came from. But I didn't need that much. I was just looking for enough to get me through the last 8 weeks or 12 weeks or however long we have going. And I didn't want the personal guarantees, and I didn't want the UCC filing, which is where they file collateral against your business and all business assets. Anything over $25,000, that's what the UCC filing is. That's what the $100 fee, if you hear other YouTubers talk about it, that fee, the $100, is to file the UCC with the state, which is Uniform Commercial Code, and that attaches all business assets. So if you want to sell a vehicle or anything like that, that's what that's for. I can go into that in a different video at a different time. So I opted for $24,900 because it was under the $25,000, and I knew I wouldn't have the personal guarantees or anything like that. Cool, 30-year term, 3.75%, gave me the payment, deferred for 1 year. Good to go. DocuSign it, electronic signature, sent it back, or submitted it, whatever. Had to certify who I was and things like that, officers of the company and things. Pretty seamless. As a lender, doing this for the last 7 years as a professional, this was by far the easiest application process. The EIDL and the PPP was by far the easiest application process I've ever seen or done in my life. The EIDL didn't ask for any other financials or anything. It was an email probably about a day later saying my application was approved, and I would be getting the disbursement shortly afterward. On May 27th, that deposit appeared in my business banking account. Again, here's a screenshot showing it was from the SBA. And that's pretty much it. Now, again, as I've said, this was the easiest process long. I've never seen a loan take from basically the middle of March until the end of May to fund that didn't include real estate or a business acquisition. So it was the longest process I've ever seen. But as far as interaction, I never had to call anybody. There's been a lot of these YouTube channels that have said about their credit was pulled. My credit was never pulled. Mine or my brother, we're both officers in the company. Never hit a credit report. Never contacted by anyone other than the emails, and I've never had to call anyone. So I've had other customers of mine that have applied for the EIDL. They've seen a similar process. I had one agricultural customer. She applied within a week and a half. She got the grant. She still hasn't heard about her loan yet, but she got the grant. And then, so that's hopeful for her working through the process. So that's basically a summary of my experience. It was very painless, and now I have the money to be able to operate my business, hopefully to get us out of this situation we're in and be a better company down the road. In my next video, or a video soon, again, this is not my primary profession. I am a financial professional that has a day job. I do this in my spare time. So I try and put out videos and content as I can, but I'm going to try and be more consistent with it. The next video I'll put out is uses of the EIDL and what you can use it for, what you can't use it for. There's a lot of I don't want to say miscommunication or misrepresentation of it, but there's a lot of people talking about this and how the SBA handcuffs you and you can't do things with your business because of the EIDL or the PPP. And a lot of the terms in the loan agreement are no different than the last loan I got from the SBA or a conventional loan that I've done, and the terminology that comes in those documents. I mean, there's a lot of scary terms that they want to say out there, like you know, the UCC. I've actually seen it livestock living and or born and unborn. So I've seen a lot of different ways of talking about collateral. I've always said to my customers and clients, all of that paperwork doesn't mean a thing unless you stop paying. As long as you're making your payments, the bank or financial institution, credit union, SBA, whatever, they don't want your business. They don't want to be in your business. They don't want to be calling you to check on your business. They want you to be successful in your business. That's the whole point of the SBA in existence, is to be successful in your business. Bankers are the same way. Me being a banker, I just want my small businesses to succeed. I want them to do well and come back to me when they buy more equipment or buy another business or buy more assets. You know, banking is it's a life cycle from birth all the way out to the end. You know, I want businesses to be so successful they don't have to borrow money, but they want to take their money to me and invest it for something else. So that's why I became a banker. That's why I enjoy banking. I enjoy finance. I love finance. But I digress. Back to the video at hand. So my next video, I will talk about the uses that you can use the EIDL and what to look out for, what the loan agreement says, and how you can make the most out of the money and be successful. If this video brought you value, I would appreciate a like or a subscribe or a comment. Let me know if I missed something, if you'd like me to touch on more on something. I'm doing this from an educational standpoint of I have gone through this process. I have a small business. I go through the same pain points that my customers do, that you go through, and I look to the same sources for information. I look to YouTube. I look to the news when you can find it about business. So that's it. If you found value, hit like, subscribe, and join me on this journey of finance.